The 2020-2021 national budget will stand at 3.2457 trillion Rwandan francs, up by 228.6 billion Rwandan francs compared to the previous fiscal year, or 7.5%, and internal funding for the budget will fall from 68 to 60.7%, with external funding accounting for 39.3%, 24.1% loans and 15.17% foreign aid. Initially, when analyzing the draft bill of the budget, parliamentarians had found 61 funding gaps amounting to 216 billion Rwandan francs. 73% of those funds have now been found.
ingero twabaha mu byuho byitaweho hari amafaranga abanyakwa badepite basabiraga urwego rw'ubuhinzi.
There are examples we can give of some of the funding gaps that were focused on. Parliamentarians had asked that the agricultural sector get extra funding in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and the need to ensure food security. And that is the reason why an extra 30.1 billion Rwandan francs was allocated for that sector to increase productivity. Also, children will be going back to school and there will be no promotions, yet more will be joining them, and more classrooms are needed to avoid overcrowding. To build them, an extra 89.9 billion had to be committed. For individual cases, there is a health center in Rwanda that needed more than 500 million Rwandan francs, and that money was also found for its construction so that local residents do not have to cross the border seeking medical services. The parliamentarians, however, also called for extra funding for certain issues in the future, such as further assistance for the Teachers Savings Cooperative Umwarimu Sacco, and areas for government contractors that are still pending. When giving explanations, they show how they increase teachers' salaries, which is good. But, Honourable Speaker, that money is coming from assistance the government had promised to Umwarimu Sacco when it was first established, to help it build itself up over a period of 10 years, funds amounting to 30 billion Rwandan francs, and that is where the main funding gap originates. I personally believe that both the initiatives are important and that one should not replace the other, even though it is clear that the problem centers around the budget itself, and I ask that in order to continue building up the cooperative, as the money becomes available, that promise by the government is kept and the funds are made available. I will again raise an issue that we previously discussed to do with jobs done by contractors in the past, but they were not paid due to funding problems during this fiscal year that is coming to an end. We had asked that in order to boost the private sector, that such pending invoices are paid during the coming fiscal year, and so that the government can avoid costly litigation if they are not paid. An example, Honourable Speaker, would be in Rwamagana district, where a deficit of more than 846 million Rwandan francs was found. Rwanda's budget reading for both chambers of parliament was held on the 22nd of June this year, and the law requires that the President of the Republic approve the budget law by the 30th so that it can be published in the National Gazette and begin to be implemented on the 1st of July when the fiscal year begins.